to get the decision. That's wrong.
Has it always been this way? Do you feel
No,
it's got worse
I
recently?
think it's got worse. I genuinely think it's got worse, and it's happening more regularly, which means it's getting worse. It's happening more regularly, and it's not, and it's wrong.
The worst stoppage of the 2000s. Okay, there was no time left. I heard in the ring during the interview, they were pushing it. There was 5 seconds left. The fight was stopped like 2 or 3 seconds after the bell. Okay, so we have a post round 11 TKO. If anything, Usyk deserves a warning for continuing to punch his opponent after the fight ended, or rather after the round ended. And then,
you know what I mean? So it was just, that was weird. And then with 1 second left of round 11, the man stopped the fight. In a fight where the Rico guy, given how bad Usyk looked, he was like, oh, I've seen enough. Won't be needing this anymore. And he just called a halt to the fight. It was egregious. It was disgusting. It was horrible.
Oleksandr Usyk, which led up to this completely bullshit stoppage by an incompetent and potentially paid off referee. So the bell rings. The moment the bell rings, right? What you'll know.
Breaking news. Huge controversy has exploded across the boxing world after shocking claims linked Oleksandr Usyk to a supposed $100 million referee scandal. Fans are now questioning whether boxing can truly be trusted at the highest level. Social media is in chaos as debate grows over one of the sport's wildest rumors yet.
That was an early stoppage. They robbed that fucking guy.
Adam Smith says there was literally 1 second left when the referee stopped everything and Rico was still completely on his feet. The whole boxing world is now asking, was this referee paid $100 million by Usyk's side to rob Rico of his greatest glory at those pyramids?
An answer.
Yeah, he did find an answer, but it was premature. Let's have it right here. It was 1 second to go in the round. Mark Lyson would have known we were quite close to the end of that round. And with the way the scorecards could have been, you know, you have to give him a chance. You have to let him continue, Verhoeven. I think that he was still very much on his feet. Yeah, he was under firepower. Yes, if there was another 20 seconds in the round, he would have probably got knocked out or stopped, but there wasn't. And that was the point. The bell.
Ryan Garcia says he does not understand why the bell never rang, because 10 seconds were still remaining. Garcia makes it absolutely clear the round had ended before the stoppage. And now the whole boxing world demands one answer. Was this referee bought with $100 million?
I don't know. I don't know why the bell didn't ring. I think it was like 10 seconds left, and then I don't know. But yeah, that's how it goes. The stoppage. It's not my job to say if the ref did a good stoppage, but I thought the round.
Canelo says the referee saved Rico, but the boxing world is not buying it for 1 single second. Saving someone with 1 second left while still on their feet is not saving. It is pure robbery. And with $100 million allegedly changing hands, this whole situation smells completely and utterly corrupt.
Canelo, early stoppage that?
Huh?
Was that an early stoppage? You know which time?
I don't think so. I think they say brutal knockout.
Who's next for Usyk?
All the best for Usyk.
Who do you want to see?
One of the most powerful and most honest verdicts on the referee's controversial decision, and says Usyk should simply have been allowed to let it go because the round was basically over with just 2 seconds remaining. Fury says Rico was back on his feet and should have gone back to his corner to rest. Fury says we will never truly know what would have happened because the referee took that decision completely away from Rico and from the entire boxing world.
Yeah, you know, he could have let it go. He should have let it go because as soon as they'd have put him back together again, the round was over. It was like 2 seconds left. So he should have been allowed. He's on his feet, come back to the corner, refresh him up, give him instructions, and we'll never know what happened. Usyk could have stopped him in the 12th round, or he could have revived and got on with it. We could have went to the scorecards.
Rico Verhoeven steps forward and says with complete conviction and complete HERTBREAK that it was an absolute robbery, and says he wants to see this fight again. Rico says he wants a rematch, and the whole boxing world is completely and totally behind that demand. Rico was on his feet, the bell had apparently gone, and the referee stopped a fight that Rico believes he was genuinely winning. And that truth will haunt this entire situation forever if justice is not served.
Like, oh, it was a robbery. I want you again. Yeah, I want to see this fight again. You want the rematch.
Joseph Parker steps forward completely shocked. and says nobody truly expected this fight to be this close and this absolutely dramatic. Parker says it went completely back and forth, leaving everyone genuinely nervous throughout. But then Parker says something that cuts right to the heart of this entire scandal. You get a lot of time inside that ring to do what you have to do. And now, with accusations flying everywhere that the referee was paid $100 million to stop this fight early, and ROB Rico Verhoeven, of his greatest moment the boxing world, is asking one simple, devastating question. Did Usyk's team pay that referee to steal those final precious seconds from Rico and hand Usyk a victory he simply did not earn?
Listen, I don't think everyone expected this fight to be like this, but it went back and forth, and a lot of people were nervous, a lot of people were worried, but at the end of the day, he came out on top.
The Wade concept steps forward and delivers the most explosive and most unforgettable verdict on the entire Usyk referee scandal, and says he has just witnessed one of the biggest robberies in the entire history of boxing. Wade says Rico Verhoeven was going to win that fight, and the referee completely and deliberately robbed him of that victory. Wade calls it an all-time panic button embarrassment moment for boxing that he will never soon forget. Wade says the $100 million referee scandal surrounding this fight is the most damaging and most serious accusation the sport of boxing has faced in recent memory and demands immediate answers.
I've just seen one of, if not the biggest robberies in boxing history. It just went down in the Rico Verhoeven Oleksandr Usyk fight. And I'm saying that right because Rico Verhoeven was going to win that fight. He was going to win it. And the referee robbed him. This is an all-time panic button embarrassment moment for boxing that I won't soon forget. I hope that none of you soon forget.
Derek Chisora doubles down on his robbery verdict and says Rico will not get his WBC title because of what happened at those pyramids with the referee. But then Chisora delivers the most important and most telling observation about Usyk himself. He says Usyk did not lose a single step and was as sharp and as dangerous as he has ever been. But the $100 million referee scandal means that even Usyk's extraordinary performance on the night is now completely overshadowed by questions about whether the result was genuinely earned or whether the referee's decision, intentional or otherwise, gifted Usyk a victory that Rico Verhoeven should never have been denied in the first place on one of the most controversial nights in boxing history.
He won't get his WBC, be unfair. As you know what, fuck him. We won the rematch.
Derek, was that an off night or has Usyk lost a step?
Usyk didn't lose a step, fellas.
Frank Warren steps forward and delivers the most powerful and most undeniable piece of evidence in this entire Usyk referee scandal. Warren says he was telling everyone around him what happened, and when the footage was played back for the entire crowd, the whole place went completely and utterly quiet. Warren says that silence is the most damning verdict of all, because when you show a room full of boxing fans the truth, and they go quiet, it means every single one of them can see with their own eyes that something went completely and devastatingly wrong. Warren says Rico was robbed and says the footage proves it, and the crowd's reaction confirmed it, and now the whole boxing world is demanding that justice be properly and completely served.
And I said what I'm saying now, and all the crowd, a lot of crowd are going bullshitting in the ring. And I said, put it up there, let everybody see. And they put it up and played it, and the place went quiet. That's a fact. That you go and watch it back. That is what happens. They all looked at it, and it went quiet. Because what I'm saying is the truth. He got robbed.
Ariel Helwani is absolutely fired up and delivers the most passionate and most emotional reaction to the Usyk referee scandal of absolutely anyone connected to this entire extraordinary situation. Helwani says he is genuinely afraid he is going to say something completely stupid because of how truly angry he is about everything he witnessed in Egypt. Helwani says what happened at the pyramids this afternoon was an absolute disgrace, and says he simply cannot believe that Rico Verhoeven got robbed in this completely shocking and completely unacceptable fashion. Helwani says the $100 million referee scandal has damaged not just this fight and not just this result, but the entire credibility and the entire reputation of boxing as a sport that can be trusted to deliver honest and fair outcomes to the fighters who give absolutely everything they have inside that ring.
I'm fired up and I'm afraid I'm going to say something stupid if I'm being honest with you. Truth be told, what we saw this afternoon in Egypt was an absolute disgrace. I can't believe Rico Verhoeven got robbed like that.
Rico Verhoeven steps forward one final time and delivers the most heartbreaking and most determined statement of this entire extraordinary controversy. Rico says they are going to appeal this decision because it simply makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Rico says if the bell has already gone and then the fight is stopped, then it is his time to rest and recover. Rico says people on social media are absolutely not happy about the stoppage, and he completely understands their reaction and their anger. Rico says mistakes can be made by anyone in any sport, but says this particular referee needs to admit his mistake, look back at the footage, and acknowledge what every single person watching around the entire world could clearly see with their own two eyes. That Rico Verhoeven was robbed of the biggest moment of his entire extraordinary combat sports career.
Yeah, I think we might just go and appeal it because this doesn't make any sense, right? No. Like if the bell goes and then stop the fight, then why? You know, it's like then it's my time to rest.
As you say there, Rico, people on social media were not happy with the stoppage.
Johnny Nelson closes with the most direct and most intelligent verdict on the entire Usyk referee scandal and the $100 million accusations surrounding it. Nelson says it is absolute foolishness and asks how anyone can be this stupid. Nelson says bringing this kind of corrupt street mentality to world-class boxing is simply not acceptable at any level. Nelson says this is top-level boxing and the highest level of professional sport, and if you want to bring paid-off referees and rigged results and corrupt money into this game, then that is exactly what happens to the sport and its reputation when everything finally comes completely and totally to light. Nelson warns that boxing is at a genuine crossroads right now and says if the $100 million referee scandal surrounding the Usyk versus Rico fight is proven to be true, then the damage to this beautiful and brutal sport will be so enormous and so permanent that it may never truly recover in the eyes of the millions of loyal fans who gave everything to believe in its honesty.
Okay. It's foolishness. How can you be so stupid? That's street mentality. This is world-class boxing. This is top-level boxing. If you want to bring that stuff to boxing, that's what happens. If you want to bring that mentality to our...
Ade Oladipo closes everything with the most honest and most humble reaction to the entire $100 million Usyk referee scandal and says something that stops the whole boxing world completely in its tracks. Oladipo says he genuinely did know something about this situation and says he would absolutely not claim to know anything about a scandal of this magnitude. Oladipo says this is one of those situations that goes completely over his pay grade and over his head and over absolutely everything else. He says like most people he will simply wait and see how this entire extraordinary situation truly plays out. But Oladipo's humility and his honesty in the face of this enormous scandal actually speaks more volumes than any confident verdict possibly could. Because when even the most knowledgeable and most well-connected people in boxing say this scandal goes over their head, you know that what truly happened at those magnificent pyramids runs deeper and goes darker than absolutely anyone in the entire sport of boxing is yet truly ready to openly admit.
I did know something about this. I would absolutely not say I knew anything about this. This is one of those ones that go over my pay grade, over my head, and over everything else. So I will, like most people, just wait and see how this plays out.
What you have just witnessed is the entire boxing world confronting the most shocking and most damaging scandal the sport has faced in recent memory as the $100 million Usyk referee controversy exploded into every single corner of combat sports and forced every single person connected to boxing to ask the one question that nobody ever truly wants to ask. Is boxing rigged? One analyst said wrong decisions are getting worse and happening more regularly. The Wade Concept called it one of the biggest robberies in boxing history and an all-time panic button embarrassment. Frank Warren showed the crowd the footage and the whole place went completely quiet because the truth was right there for every single eye to see. Adam Smith said there was literally 1 second left in the round when the controversial stoppage was called. Ryan Garcia said he genuinely does not know why the bell did not ring. Peter Fury said Rico was on his feet and should have been allowed to go back to his corner. Derek Chisora said it clearly and without hesitation. They robbed that man. Ariel Helwani called what happened in Egypt an absolute disgrace. Canelo said he thinks the referee saved Rico, but the boxing world fired back and said you cannot save someone with 1 second left when they are still standing. Rico himself said it was an absolute robbery and is filing an appeal because the bell had already gone before the fight was stopped. Johnny Nelson called the whole thing absolute foolishness and said bringing corrupt street mentality to world-class boxing is completely unacceptable. And Ade Oladipo said this scandal goes completely over his pay grade and over his head. The painful and devastating truth at the heart of this entire $100 million referee scandal is that Rico Verhoeven crossed every ocean and every discipline and traveled to the pyramids of Giza and gave absolutely everything he had for 6 months of the hardest work of his life, and then had the most important moment of his entire career stolen from him by a referee whose decision has now raised questions so serious and so dark that the sport of boxing itself is standing at the most important crossroads of its entire modern history. Rico wants a rematch. The world demands a rematch. And until justice is truly and completely served, the $100 million referee scandal will echo through boxing forever.